When the morning of October 5th, 2025 dawned over southern China, few could have imagined the fury that awaited. By noon, Super Typhoon Matmo, the 21st typhoon of the season, had torn into the coastline between Wuchuan in Guangdong and Wenchang in Hainan, unleashing a brutal wall of wind and rain. With gusts reaching 190 kilometers per hour and waves towering as high as four-story buildings, this storm was no ordinary tempest. It was a full-scale atmospheric assault. According to the China Meteorological Administration, Matmo struck at a strong typhoon level, 13 to 14, packing winds near 165 kilometers per hour and a central pressure of 955 hectopascals.
你给我刷个火箭，我出去给你看。
Its level 8 gale radius extended nearly 280 kilometers, meaning vast areas of the South China coast were battered simultaneously. In Zhangjiang's Shuwen County, where the storm's eye brushed closest to land, residents described the sound of the wind as steel grinding against steel. Along the Leizhou Peninsula, the sea turned monstrous. Ships capsized like toys. Fishing boats were lifted and thrown ashore. Authorities confirmed that around 120 fishing ports were destroyed, and many vessels remained missing off Hainan's coast. Massive storm surges swept into coastal towns, submerging roads, shattering piers, and ripping roofs clean off seaside homes. In Guangdong alone, over 151,000 residents were evacuated, including nearly 10,000 fishermen pulled from the sea before the storm struck. The government activated emergency responses in 7 major cities: Zhangjiang, Maoming, Yangjiang, Jiangmen, Zhuhai, Huizhou, and Zhongshan, ordering schools, factories, and ports to close.
Oh my God, that flag got God. Bà nó có gì thôi đó.
我的妈呀！那个龙卷风一样，哟，赶紧离开这个地方，万一飞个东西进来咋？
Those who remained behind faced scenes of chaos. In Zhangjiang, cars floated down flooded streets. Debris rained from the skies. Entire neighborhoods vanished beneath waist-deep water. Near the coast, storm surges slammed into seawalls, sending fountains of foam and salt spray into the air. Meanwhile, in Haikou, on Hainan Island, palm trees bowed nearly to the ground under hurricane-force winds. Viral videos showed streetlights bending like reeds, billboards crashing into cars, and residents clinging to door frames as glass shattered. The noise was deafening, said one resident during a live stream. The whole building trembled, and it felt like the storm would tear it apart. The disaster could not have come at a worse time. During China's National Day holiday, one of the busiest travel weeks of the year. Flights out of Guangzhou, Shenzhen, and Sanya were grounded. Haikou Airport transformed into a sea of stranded passengers sleeping on the floor. High-speed rail lines were suspended due to fears of derailment, leaving thousands stranded across southern China. The Guangdong provincial government issued a rare 5-part emergency order: suspend schools, work, tourism, outdoor activities, and waterway transport. In Shenzhen and Zhuhai, millions of homes went dark as power grids failed. Residents lit candles and used flashlights to push back the darkness, as the wind screamed through broken windows. Matmo's impact stretched far beyond the coastline. Torrential rain, over 300 millimeters in some towns, triggered widespread flooding. In Zhangjiang's downtown, water reached the steps of shopping malls. In Yangjiang, cars bobbed through murky lakes that had once been streets. Rescue teams deployed military rubber boats to evacuate trapped families, while bulldozers cleared fallen trees and power poles blocking key highways. Further inland, Matmo's outer bands brought renewed misery to Guangxi, which had only just emerged from historic floods days earlier. Rivers that had barely receded overflowed once again. Entire villages became islands. In the north, Xinjiang was hit by an early blizzard, paralyzing highways and leaving thousands stranded. A stark reminder that China's weather chaos spanned every direction. Experts described Matmo as one of the fastest intensifying typhoons in recent years. Within just 24 hours, it transformed from a mild tropical depression into a super typhoon, giving authorities little time to prepare. Meteorologists attributed this explosive growth to abnormally warm waters in the South China Sea, which supercharged the storm's core. As reporters braved the elements, live broadcasts captured surreal scenes: flying metal signs, crumbling rooftops, and reporters shouting over the howling wind, "You can feel the ground shaking beneath my feet." By late evening, Matmo began to weaken as it moved inland, but its tail continued to dump relentless rain across southern provinces. Authorities warned of landslides in mountainous areas and secondary flooding along the Pearl River Basin. In some areas, temporary bridges were washed away, isolating entire towns that could only be reached by helicopter. When dawn broke, residents stepped outside to find their cities transformed. Streets were strewn with fallen trees, twisted metal, shattered glass, and overturned cars.